Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Go F.O.C. Yourself. My name is Brandon. I am, once again, your host, co-owner of Variant Edition Comics, Variant Edition Graphic Novels and Comics up here in Edmonton, alongside the lovely Ms. Danica LeBlanc. This is our weekly Final Order Cutoff show for The Beat, where we talk about all of the things on Final Order Cutoff this week, and amongst other smattering of stuff and general stumbling over my words. As always, we have some rules. The first rule is, of course, we will be focusing on the stories first and the collecting aspect of comics second. There's a whole lot of shows out there that will tell you which comics to collect and why. Our show is to focus on what kinds of stories readers might like and how stores can best connect them to those readers. So we're going to be focusing on that. Rule number 2, of course, is helpful information is always welcome, and we might pop it up on the screen. It's just a nice thing to do when someone's trying to be helpful, to just share that information. Unhelpful information, of course, will not be acknowledged unless you address me as Comics Daddy, and maybe not even then. This has happened in the past, and I have acknowledged. And rule number 4 is don't be a ding-dong. That's just general rule for life. Don't be a ding-dong. Everyone will get along just fine. On this week's show, I wanted to pop up something interesting because it's a newer aspect of what will be happening soon. So let's get this up here. I want this window. All right. So what you're seeing here is Penguin Random House's first crack at some Final Order cutoffs. As you can see here, this F.O.C. cart is for early July. Now, the stuff that they have in this catalog, there's 177 items, they're saying are due for initial orders today. So they want initial numbers to be in for adjustments to be made at a later date. And let's see if that pops up again. No, of course not. So be aware that these are some deadlines that we will also be talking about. There'll be 3, count them 3 places to check for Final Order cutoff pieces. One of the bigger things here is going to be the Marvel previews coming up soon. But as you'll see, there's a mix of manga and some products that Penguin Random House distributes, like No Brow, which does Hilda. And there's some DC stuff hanging out in here, some DK as well. So you'll get a nice cross-section, some DC, of stuff to be aware of, which I think is really cool. And as that ends up happening, we will, of course, be expanding our coverage to make sure that we encompass that. But for this week, we are going to stick with our previews catalog, baby. And kicking things off with Image. What do you have for us this week, Image? It's the return of A Man Among Ye from Top Cow. Stephanie Phillips and Josh George on this one. The Pirate Queen Annie Bonny is back with her crew of Lady Buccaneers after a harrowing escape from a Caribbean prison. But can they find a safe haven on land or sea after Calico Jack Rackham's betrayal and the governor's promise to hunt down and execute? And the second volume of A Man Among Ye hits the high seas, thanks to Stephanie Phillips and Josh George. So yeah, folks who are fans of the first run, there's continuance here. Very exciting. Haha's wrapping up with another one of those Seussian covers that people are going cuckoo bananas over. Man-Eaters returns. Man-Eaters was a series out from Image from Chelsea Kane and Kate Niemczyk, who returns after not doing the final arc of the original Man-Eaters. Man-Eaters the Cursed reunites the original Man-Eaters creative team for another tale of adolescent feminist daring do and supernatural hijinks. Maud, now 15, is sent to craft camp for the week. It goes south pretty quickly. Smart, laugh out loud, funny, provocative, referential, scary, chock full of ephemera, and compulsively rereadable, plus fairies. Advisory: do not read this book unless you are actually camping. So I do like when they're showing some interior stuff here. It is a continuance of the series. Now that solicitation didn't really give much insight into what Man-Eaters is or was. It was a series about a world where women can turn into werecats that can murder people during stressful moments on their periods. And it was a really solid critique of a lot of how society perceives women. The writer has had some interesting faux pas in terms of discussion of that with folks with different experiences, but the book is still good, and we all try and navigate and learn from our mistakes, and hopefully Chelsea Kane has done some learning. There's the collection of Rain Lake Hammers coming out. Super criminal brick block journeys to the palace world of Sky Cradle. He disguises himself by transferring his mind into the body of a genetically engineered butler. But how much of who he was will remain in this new form? An existential crisis, vending machine snacks, and the fate of unknown space. Of known space. Sorry. Womp womp. Silver Coin is continuing with a Jeff Lemire story. For folks who like to follow Jeff Lemire. Skybound X happening weekly. And something to be aware of. Skybound is saying that they do not intend to really collect any of these stories. So when you've got your Rick Grimes 2000, when you've got your Stillwater, when you got your Birthright, and the first appearance of a new series coming out soon, yes, don't take for granted that these will be collected with their respective series. I believe this will be that everyday hero machine boy. Oh, that looks really cute. That's really exciting. I'm probably going to read the heck out of that book. Bank Shot finally coming out in collected edition. I will be purchasing this through Penguin Random House, probably because that discount with free shipping far exceeds what I'm getting from Diamond. So that's where I'll be picking up those for the store. Bank Shot done by Alex DeCampi and Chris Cross. A past betrayal has primed Marcus King for revenge, and now that he has been given enhanced abilities, the fuse is lit. From the mountains of the Ukraine to a lush tropical island, no place is safe from his vengeance. Marcus King, modern-day Robin Hood or terrorist, or maybe both. When Marcus comes face to face with an adversary who knows all of his carefully buried truths, he's forced to become the man he has always pretended to be. God help his enemies. And a new number one, Savage Hearts, from Aubrey Sitterson and Jed Doherty. She's a brawny barbarian bruiser with a broken heart. He's a lonely beastman who talks to dinosaurs. What happens when they team up against an evil sorcerer? Action, comedy, and romance in this all-new jungle fantasy rom-com from Aubrey Sitterson and Jed Doherty. It includes special print single issue exclusive backup. No kings, no masters. So a little bit of a bonus not to be collected, I guess. Very interested. I like when there's a little bit of an value add. Good gravy. Words are fun and easy to the single issue format. And as always, if my scrolling is not updating on your end, let me know. Sometimes this program freezes a little bit. Kanto is rolling into its third full series. The tiny clockwork knight, in search of a heart, has found his people's freedom and has saved them from the curse of the shrouded men. But is he ready to face his enemy on the battlefield? After making the ultimate sacrifice, Kanto bears a weapon that could defeat the shrouded man and free all the inhabitants of the unnamed world. Now he races to find a hidden settlement of his former slavers to enlist them as allies in the coming war. That is, if the shrouded man doesn't find them first. In July, join in the latest adventure in the Kanto-verse that Major Spoilers calls a quest story to savor. Kanto is doing extremely well for us. A great little fantasy tale about a little dude just trying to do right by his community. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen softcover Volume 4 is coming out from Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill, both supposedly their retirement projects. So it continues the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen universe. If you don't know what that is, because I am definitely not reading all of this as a wordy AF to describe the fourth volume of a series. A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a take on the nature of fiction and storytelling, featuring a lot of public domain characters, and it's built into quite a few different interesting volumes. So very, very fun. One of the things I like most about the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a young man by the name of Jess Nevins started doing some articles about all of the different references in League, and Alan Moore decided to start tossing things in just to see if he could trip Jess Nevins up. An interesting battle, to say the least. My Little Pony is reaching its 100th issue. That is quite phenomenal in this current market, and it is continuing with the season 10 story that they're going off of. So when the TV series ended, the comic series picked it up and has been running for it for about a year now. The Science of Surfing Surfside Girls Guide to the Ocean is another in the Surfside Girls series, which is just absolutely lovely. The ocean is packed with plants, animals, water, and science. Ride the waves of knowledge with Sam and Jade as they explain all of the amazing wonders of the sea and have a blast doing it. Have you ever wondered why the ocean has waves? Why does the tide go in and out? And how can coral be alive when it looks like a rock? From the pages of the beloved graphic novel series, join the Surfside Girls, Sam and Jade, for an investigation into everything that makes the ocean so cool, from moon cycles and king tides to why a wave breaks, to otters in kelp forests, with plenty of fun and jokes along the way. Plus, there's a whole step-by-step chapter on how to surf. The science of surfing is the coolest way to take a beach vacation and learn at the same time. Digging into the Marvel Comics, Aliens Aftermath #1 is a one-shot. Be aware, Aliens fans, that your shop might not save it for you. And shops, beware. You might want to save a bunch of these for your regular Aliens readers, from Ben Percy and Dave Wachter, with a nice Phil Noto cover art. It's been 35 years since the tragedy of the Hadley's Hope colony, but what happened to that ill-fated venture has been shrouded in mystery. A renegade crew of investigative journalists are heading towards the moon that Wayland Yutani has wiped from all records, and they'll bring back the truth, even if it kills them. And what remains in that bombed out site will try and do just that. Benjamin Percy and Dave Wachter imagine a terrifying possible future for LV-426 in this celebration of the 35th anniversary of one of the most influential science fiction films of all time. Extreme Carnage Scream #1. The Extreme Carnage series is going to be a series of one-shots. So this is something to keep an eye out for as this continues with the regular writer of Scream when that was coming out as a series, Clay McLeod Chapman. Andy Benton has always been a fighter, and that's never been truer than when she bonded to the Scream symbiote a few months ago. But even after Absolute Carnage and King in Black, Andy has never had to fight like this, and worse still, if she can't save her symbiote from whatever unseen force is affecting it, she might have to do it alone. Some big symbiote stuff happening. I mean, it's been happening all the time for a little while now, but I do like that the Mighty Marvel Masterworks are going into a bite-sized graphic novel format, nice and cheap for kiddos who've been, and adults who've been looking for a cost-effective way to get some of the original stories. It's very cool. There's going to be a mixed bag Shang-Chi collection that will have a bunch of more 90s and future and past based appearances hanging out there. As always, these will... Oh, this has been out already. Marvel is sort of like re-releasing this one because they ran out of print, which they do a lot of these days. Shenanigans, I say. Sinister War, #1 is for your Amazing Spider-Man readers out there. Nick Spencer is building up to a crescendo for his run on Spider-Man, as he is leaving the title in September. So if you've been riding the ride to this point, the end is almost here. Ox got a new Sinister 6, and if you think he's thought big in the past, think again. And man, like, he was thinking big in the past, because he like took over Peter Parker's body and piloted it as Spider-Man for a while there. What Ock doesn't know is that the Vulture has a sextet of his own, the Savage Six. That's an all-out war between two of the greatest villains in the Marvel Universe, and the only person they hate more than each other is Spider-Man. Spidey's in deep trouble with the toughest battle that he's ever faced. Nick Spencer and Mark Bagley team up for this epic Spider-Man story, guaranteed to shock readers everywhere. Quite a few different covers for that one. The Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters is in full swing, with a lot of books to be aware of. The Star Wars Dr. Aphra book and Star Wars Bounty Hunters #2. Now, I will not be ordering the headshot covers, the Kamakole headshot covers, because it is advertising the books start in May. These books will be on the stands in July. Why would I want this on there? Just take it off. Take it off there. And preferably do it before the end of F.O.C. Because why? Why backdate this? People are going to think it's an old comic and not a proper time. Yeah, big sillies. It's almost as though there's a way to go about doing this stuff, and you're kind of blowing it. The first Star Wars High Republic collection is being solicited as well, or final orders for that are due coming up here on Monday. It'll be in stores in August. A lot of folks real excited about that. And remember that Marvel tends to do pretty tight print runs on these. So order what you think will last you quite a few months, as they will definitely almost be out of print of that book immediately. Like a bunch of weirdos. Web of Spider-Man #1 is getting a second printing. A wonderful all ages series featuring attraction at the Disney parks. As always, Dynamite is going to do what Dynamite does, but it is rocking a new #1. So we'll dig into that a little bit from Sarah Hoyt and Madibek Mustabekov. The Siren of Space returns in a series of all new adventures by a dynamic new creative team. They're at the controls as Barbarella leaves Space Dock on a new mission fraught with unseen layers of danger, duplicity, and perhaps a dose of romance. Camelot is home to the rich and the powerful class seeking escape from an increasingly crowded and decaying galactic empire. desperate clandestine transmissions from an enslaved underclass bring Barbarella to investigate, uncovering secrets that lead to more secrets and the distinct possibility that someone knew she was coming. High concept sci-fi meets the greatest aspects of the human soul in a series that will reveal wonders that both terrify and delight. And it covers, and covers, and covers, and covers, and covers for $4. Berserker #1 is getting a 5th printing. See here. It does not look to be a foil printing. So there's that. And issue 4 will be due at the same time. Now these ones will have foil covers. Be aware of that. Issue 4 is still returnable, but they do strip covers for Berserker. Whereas the other ones are affidavit when they do returns for that. The Dune limited edition hardcover is due this week. This one is limited to 500 copies. So there will be allocations. So be aware of that for your customers and let them know that you might not be able to get this. Mouse Guard is returning with a one-shot. Alhen Caregiver, with David Peterson providing all of the good arts. This is a square comic, so be aware. They usually fit in magazine size. Which of life's biggest lessons can be learned from the smallest among us? A young mouse learns that compassion and kindness are the greatest virtues in the Alhen Caregiver. Piper the listener finds a brave mouse venturing into the wild country to learn the tongues of other beasts, and a grizzled old fur shares the lesson of putting a whisker out too far in the wild wolf. 3 poignant tales mark creator David Peterson's return to his beloved Eisner and Harvey Award-winning series in this self-contained special. I'm very happy that Mouse Guard is back. It is quite poignant that this story does involve someone giving care to an elder. That is what David Peterson has been doing, taking care of his dad. And it's partly why you haven't seen a lot of Mouse Guard. He's taking care of his family right now. So there'll be a lot of heart in there. Save Yourself #1 is getting a 2nd printing. We do have a good chunk of those still left at the store. Wonderful series, kind of flipping the magical girl story on its head with what if the magical girls are probably evil. We've got Beyond the Breach from Aftershock. Ed Brisson and Damien Cucchiaro. Life sucks for Vanessa. Her mother just died, and her boyfriend is cheating on her with her own sister. Ooh, rough. To clear her mind, Vanessa is taking the California road trip that she's been dreaming about for years. Her postcard-perfect drive through old-growth forests quickly turns when the breach hits. A bizarre anomaly in the sky plunges California into a nightmare world populated with strange extra-dimensional creatures. Now Vanessa, along with Dougie, an orphan child, and Kai, a strange fuzzball of a beast, must fight to survive if they ever hope to make it back home, if there's even a home to return to. It is a fantastical sci-fi road trip adventure about perseverance and finding family in unexpected places. Bunny Mask 2 is coming out. I know a lot of places ran out in #1. It's been pretty big. I was actually pleasantly surprised with it because I was expecting just one of those weird sexy murder books. And it's so much creepier than something like that. It was genuinely, it gave me the willies, the creeps. The Sumerian continues with the new mini-series, The Man-Eaters of Zambula. Continuing Ablaze's reprints of the European-style Conan adventures with the good old-fashioned public domain name. And quite a few different covers for that, including Frank Miller homage. Got Miss Better Living Through Crime from Humanoids. Features an all-new cover by Greg Smallwood. The tale of two very unlikely partners in crime set in New York City's roaring 20s. Nola is a destitute but crafty white girl living on the streets. Slim is a black pimp with a shady history, constantly looking over his shoulder in fear of his own past. When their options run out and their paths cross, Nola and Slim forge a partnership as hired killers. Miss Better Living Through Crime is a story about what it takes for two people to survive when all they have is a gun and each other. It's got a forward by Ed Brubaker. Given his seal of approval for that bit of pulp, European pulp. Ninjak from Jeff Parker and Javier Pulido. Will not have interiors like this. I'll show you those interiors in a second. Very excited for some more Javier Pulido art. I love that dude's work. Out of the shadows and into the spotlight, the world's greatest super spy has been exposed. Colin King is Ninjak, and he has a target on his back like never before. With enemies lurking around every corner, how will Ninjak survive when there's nowhere left to hide and the world is gunning for him? Hang on to your hats, folks. Jeff Parker and Javier Pulido are about to take you on a non-stop thrill ride. And here's what we're getting in here. So definitely not for everybody, but there's a lot of folks who adore this styling, and I am very excited to be reading this. Quincredible is getting a volume 2 in the nice all ages or young adult graphic novel style from Rodney Barnes and Selena Espiritu. This is a story about a young man who, when meteors fell to Earth, Quentin West was gifted with the power of invulnerability. But seeing others take up the hero identities, Quentin decided to help his city of New Orleans in his own way. Using his smarts, creativity, and a bit of training from his mentor Glow, Quentin is on his way to becoming Quincredible, hero of New Orleans. But even superheroes must do homework, and Quentin's newest assignment is to learn the history of New Orleans and voodoo. An assignment leads him to the mysterious Madame Adelaide, who gives him a new task to fulfill for the good of New Orleans. Is Madame Adelaide a spirit? An enhanced human? And what is the evil that threatens New Orleans that Quentin must stop? Red Atlantis is also getting a collected edition here. Very excited about that. From Stephanie Phillips, who has been doing outstanding work on Harley Quinn currently, and Robert Carey. A series of unexplained violent crimes on election day around the U.S. lead to the FBI to zero in on a covert group of Russian terrorists. When a Texas journalism student named Miriam accidentally finds herself mixed up in the investigation, her life will never be the same. With political espionage, treason, and even mind control, can she clear her name and stop the U.S. from entering into a new Cold War? A fast-paced political thriller that explores the dark history of U.S.-Russian relations. Nothing topical there at all. Moving on. Rick and Morty's got another presents quarterly one-shot featuring Hotel Immortal. And Snowpiercer has a prequel book coming out in a softcover edition. That is going to do it for this round. We're going to hitch over to the DC stuff. And as always, we're going to pop up the disclaimers. These are going to be the lunar orders that are due. And then we'll get to the universal orders, a different situation for those, because we got to get those numbers in a little bit early if we're going through universal up here in the Canadian Norths. Yes, it's pronounced Canada now. Just heads up for everybody. A lot of good here, including the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries, which has been going over really well and has prompted a reprint of 1 and 2 that was solicited for a couple weeks ago. Cherry Blackbird #1 is getting a second printing, as is the DC Horror presenting The Conjuring to tie in with the new movie that just came out. Deathstroke Omnibus is coming out from Christopher Priest. Very, very happy that this is happening. And the Fourth World is getting a new omnibus printing. Gotham City Monsters, I'm very excited about it. It's basically about the Gotham City Monsters from Steve Orlando and Amerike Neufelen. Now that Shade has been dismantled by Leviathan, Frankenstein finds himself free to set his sights on his former mentor, Melmoth, the one evil that got away. With bad things happening across the multiverse, this may be Frankenstein's last shot at setting things right. Of course, Melmoth has his own agenda, and it's going to take more than a lone monster to take him down. So Frankenstein heads to Gotham City in search of allies and recruits Killer Croc, Lady Clayface, Orca, and vampire Andrew Bennett, and a mysterious figure known as the Red Phantom. But will even these dread creatures be enough to save humanity before the entire cosmos collapses in on itself? Fan favorite writer Steve Orlando and red hot artist Amerike Neufelen bring the monstrous might of the DC Universe in full force. Infinite Frontier #2 is also on tap for folks wondering what's going on with the big multiverse. Issue 1 should be coming out very shortly. Joker #5, I will note, is a flashback story, a year 1 style story that will feature Francesco Francavilla on the main art and Sweeney Boo taking over that Punchline storyline, which is very cool. Nice House on the Lake is getting a second printing. For those who missed out on the first one, we have more first prints on the way, and they will be in store on Wednesday. Very, very excited about that. Stanley the Snowman #1 is getting the little one-shot. I like how Scout will do these one-shots, and these one-shots end up coming out as non-stop titles. So you get a little taste, and then you get the collected edition shortly after. Very cool. Cool down this from the summer heat with an uplifting Christmas and July special. Jenny Rose is a bit of a loner. She's not into dolls and the latest cell phones or cool games. She loves spending time with her family and learning about their traditions from her grandfather. He passes on to her a secret ritual that only one family member in a generation can do, bringing Stanley the Snowman to life. Stanley is a magical snowman, the embodiment of the holiday spirit and their family history. After months of preparation, the night finally arrives. But things don't go exactly as planned. Enjoy this first issue, because there's a non-stop volume coming out shortly afterwards. And we also have Bedlam Destroyed, Legends Legion Earth, and All We Knew. This thrust the hero formerly known as Legend onto the circus circuit. And all was well. Oh, as well as a drunkard can be, of course, until Balam returned. The Magnificent McCoys versus Balam the Feared. Surely nothing could go wrong when the fan, right? Collects all 3 issues of the hits Scout comic series, includes never before printed encyclopedia. Do you like the curse button? It is kind of fun. Oh, wait. Right. Starman Compendium #1. I'm very excited about this. I believe this is like the first half of Starman. I love this series. It is from a small period of time where you could get a very interesting long run of a self-contained idea in the DC universe. Things like Starman, things like Hitman, things like Sandman, Man-Mans, I guess. Nice little chunks that kind of exist unto themselves and tell a complete story. Probably James Robinson's finest work, honestly. Sweet Tooth: The Return. For those who are just champing at the bit for more Sweet Tooth, definitely read the main series first. This functions as a epilogue volume. That is very, very cool. We Don't Kill Spiders. In the early Viking Age, a faithless Norseman detective is summoned to a Scandinavian hamlet where a series of murders have occurred. Discovering the dark and bloody history of the village, he investigates the local outcast, a necromantic witch who brings his atheistic values into question. Determined to prevent further homicides, the two band together to discover the identity of the serial killer. All right, and that is that week's F.O.C. We're going to pop this over to Universal Orders, baby. These are the ones that I will be working on this week and sending out notification for shortly, along with all of Diamond stuff due for our store this Sunday. Blue and Gold number 1's popping up with Booster Gold and Blue Beetle from Dan Jurgens and Ryan Sook. Desperate to regain the spotlight, Booster Gold looks to attract the public's and the Justice League's attention the same way any washed-up second-rate superhero would: social media. The not-so-tech-savvy hero from the 25th century enlists the help of his best friend Blue Beetle, who possesses both the money and the brains to help his old pal navigate the scary world of internet influencers. Watch out, evildoers. Our heroes are live and online. Don't miss Dan Jurgens' triumphant return to Booster Gold with the help of all-star artist Ryan Sook, telling a tale filled with heart and maybe even redemption for two of DC's favorite underdogs. There's also this gorgeous Catwoman cover. Outstanding. Count Draco, Knuckle Duster. The curse of the cryptocrystalline stone continues in 2021. So this would be a sequel series, of course. Follow the cosmic ghoul warrior and young psychic Asel Aglo as they embark on the next chapter of an adventure that will take them from the vastness of the void to the depths of an aquatic moon crawling with fantastic creatures. This action-packed tale of sinister celestial sorcery picks up where last year's smash hit Phantom Star Killer left off. Okay. I remember Phantom Star Killer. All right. So now I know where I'm sitting. Good. This time around, the story is told from behind the mask of the mysterious and malevolent Count Draco Knuckle Duster and his cybernetic chrononautical exosuit. Can the curse be broken in time, or is it already too late? Find out in an all-new psychedelic sci-fi horror odyssey from writer-creator Peter Gorel and artist Joseph Shumlak. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm so sorry. Nightwing 81 is getting a second printing. I know a lot of folks who will be very excited about that, as the main cover of that series flew off the shelves. I can tell you for a fact that we have a bunch of the Pride cover, because you can never have too many copies of Nightwing hanging out with a rainbow flag, showing off his booty. Which brings us to Nightwing 82, for those of you who are interested in following up on this series that seems to be gaining a lot of steam and a lot of readers as it goes along. So definitely don't miss out on that. Shazam number 1, coming from Tim Sheridan and Clayton Henry. Billy Batson came to Titans Academy looking for answers. Why was the rest of his adopted family cut off from the power of Shazam? Why are his own powers becoming increasingly unreliable? The answers send Billy on an outrageous adventure that'll not only change him, but have an immense impact on the school and the other students on Titans Island. Soulstream number 1. Another Scoot that will be collected in one volume later. Scout Comics and Scoot Imprint are proud to introduce ultra-talented 16-year-old comic creator Saida Wolf's new title, Soulstream. Marie and Marcus discover an alternate dimension known as the Mirror World, where the entire city has been destroyed and replaced by a volcanic wasteland. Marie is contacted by the Mage Goddess, who gives her a magical ocean bracelet and transforms Marie, allowing her to control water as the superhero Soulstream. 16 years old. These kids, they keep getting younger and younger, and I definitely do not keep getting older. That is wrong. There's also a Stabbity Bunny plush, which is a little terrifying, but these things happen. We've got the first issue of Superman and the Authority from Grant Morrison and Mikkel Yannon. Sometimes even Superman finds a task almost impossible. Sometimes even the last son of Krypton needs to enlist help, and some tasks require methods and heroes that don't scream Justice League. So Clark Kent, the Metropolis Marvel, seeks out Manchester Black, the most dastardly of the rogues, to form an all-new authority tasked with taking care of some business on the sly. Not only will Black know the right candidates for the team, but if Superman can take him or can make him behave himself and act in the service of the greater good, then he'll prove literally anyone can be a hero. They'll have to move quickly, however, as the Ultra-Human Knight forms his own team to take out the Man of Steel. This new limited series helps launch an all-new Superman status quo, setting up story elements that will reverberate across both Action Comics and Superman Son of Kal-El in the months to come. And not only is Superman putting together a superstar team, but it takes superstars to tell the tale. Grant Morrison and Mikkel Yanin. Beep, beep, beep. The Teen Titans Beast Boy Loves Raven, the third in this graphic novel series, is coming out. Y'all know how well this has been selling if you're a retailer. If not, holy heck, this has been selling so incredibly well everywhere. So definitely get on that. Get it in your store. A wonderful series, heartfelt, and exactly what the kiddos who grew up watching Teen Titans want from a lot of the characters. Just, getting to grow up with them. It's really cool. There's the White Ash Mythic Edition, which is a oversized prestige one-shot. Welcome to White Ash, a small smudge of a town in the western Pennsylvania where mining is a generational calling and the secrets are buried deeper than the coal in the mountain. As Alex Rigg tries to escape that legacy and head off to college, he falls into the orbit of enigmatic Lillian Alden. Together, they race down a dangerous path, leading Alec to uncover a secret about his family that changes everything he knows about himself and White Ash. And now if he leaves, there will be no one left to protect the people of the town from an ancient evil that has just returned. This oversized, prestige 56-page Mythic Edition collects the first 2 issues and includes some unreleased pinups. And the wonderful Women of the World, a new anthology celebrating noteworthy women from around the world. Women change the world. They've been doing it for centuries. Now, New York Times best-selling author Laurie Halse Anderson gathers women and non-binary writers and artists to reveal the women making our world better day by day. Real-world heroes from the fields of business, activism, science, and pop culture are making tough decisions every day, and DC Comics is here to celebrate them. And that is everything for this week. Thank you all for watching. As always, we do this every Friday at 3:30 on the Beat's various channels. And this is shared on Variant Edition's socials. And Variant Edition has a few different socials. We're at Variant Edmonton everywhere on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and newly on TikTok, where we will be putting up videos that will only ever feature the song Closing Time by Semisonic. So look forward to that, because we know how to do internets. All right, folks, thank you all for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye.